Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist BBQ. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today I'm going to show you my absolute favorite way to make tri-tip. Now, when I first moved to California, everybody loved tri-tip. They talked about, oh, are you going to make tri-tip? You're barbecuing, are you doing tri-tip? Or I got the grill going, and people would ask, well, what's on there, tri-tip? People freaked out about it. And I had it probably half a dozen times, and I just thought to myself, these people are nuts. This is not even very good. I mean, you could make 100 better steaks. This is not a special cut. And then once I went to a place where they were doing it over direct heat coals, and I was like, oh, when you do it this way, it is special. It is really, really good. So my point is, if you treat it right, it's amazing. If you don't, it's kind of ho-hum, in my opinion. I think it's way, way overrated unless you do it this specific way, and then the way they view tri-tip is actually correct. So I'm gonna get these out of the package, and I'm gonna show you what I do to them, and then we're gonna take them out and cook them. It's called tri-tip obviously because it's got three little points here. It's regionally extremely popular on the West Coast, and now it's becoming popular nationwide. And if done properly, it can be super, super good. I exaggerated a little bit saying that this is the only way it's good. There are other ways it can be done well, but this is just my absolute favorite. And there are lots of ways it can be done poorly. So the way I do it is really simple. If there's fat on one side, I trim off the fat to expose the meat, and then I season it. But what you may not be expecting is this time I'm not using just salt and pepper. I think tri-tip actually benefits a lot from a more complex flavoring on the outside of the meat. Today we're going to be using this. This is the Oak Ridge Barbecue Santa Maria Grill Seasoning. I had this once just by chance and was blown away, and so I thought, I got to try it. I did, still loved it. So if you want some of this, I'll put a link in the description, but this is what we're going with today. You can use anything you want, but I would stay away from too much sugar because it can burn. To me, that looks just about right. This is one of the only rubs where I actually like to go pretty heavy. Usually I want very simple, relatively light coat, but on this, I really like it heavy. I think it just really contributes to the flavor. Plus, when we do it direct heat style, you get this amazing crust. So let's take these guys out and get them on. One thing to consider though, is that parts of this are very thin and parts are a lot thicker. So you're gonna have parts that are gonna be well done at the very tail right here, where it's thin, and then parts that are gonna be medium rare, where it's nice and thick. So there'll be something for everybody. Even the well done parts on this are gonna taste amazing because of the flavor that we added with the seasoning and the flavor we're gonna add by how we cook it. Okay, so I arranged the charcoal on this so it's mostly toward one side. So one side of this grate is gonna be a little hotter than the other. I'm gonna put the thicker parts of the tri-tip toward that hotter side so we get closer to even cooking, but there's no way around it. You're not gonna get perfectly even cooking. You could sous vide it maybe and then just for like 10 seconds, get it over something crazy hot to try to sear it, and that might be your best bet. But for me, the flavor you get with this is so much better that it's worth the cost of parts of it being a little overcooked. Put them on. It's been on for 15 seconds and already smells incredible. Right now, it's too hot right at the grate level, so I'm gonna drop the lid and lift the whole grate off to get about the right amount of separation. Right now, I'm looking for a relatively low temperature, probably something like 250 degrees. And then I want to add smoke flavor to the outside from two sources. One is the chunk of wood that I'm gonna add in a second, and the other is as the fat drips into the coals, I want that aroma and flavor to kind of flood around the tri-tip, and this lid helps keep that smoke in. But I'm gonna drop the lid, raise this up so it's an appropriate temperature, and then we'll talk about the rest of the cook. Oh yeah. To add wood smoke flavor, I'm adding this split right here. Beautiful. And as those tri-tips cook down and start to drip fat, that's gonna fall on the coals and provide even more flavor and aroma. And so I'm gonna start off low at 250 or so. I'll drop the lid down and check the temperature internal periodically. But here's one difference that I have with a lot of people. A lot of people think that all red meat that you're cooking over direct heat needs to come to a temperature of medium rare and no higher. I think actually tri-tip benefits from being at about medium. I just think it has a better texture. Feel free to disagree with me. You can use this exact same process to get the kind of flavors I'm getting, but you can cook yours to medium rare if you so choose. But this is my favorite way, so I'm going to show you how I like to do it. You can adjust it to your needs. It's been about 10 minutes and we're getting good smoke flavor, the fat's dripping into the coals, all that stuff I like to see. But I'm gonna see how these are progressing, so I'm gonna drop the lid down, take the lid off, and see if we need to flip them. Let us see here. Look at the crust. It's looking good already. Oh yeah. Still has a little ways to go. So it looks like we're about 112 degrees right here on this thickest part. And so I'm just, well, 111 degrees. So I'm just gonna leave these at the grate level that they're at now, just to finish them off and get some color on the other side. And then I think we should be done. It's very easy. Now you can finish these things off caveman style. I don't prefer to do it that way. If you do, totally fine. I just don't like seeing ash all over the meat. But it's another fair way to do it, and I wouldn't hold it against anybody if they do it that way. I've had it that way, and it tastes great. It just doesn't look as good to me. Okay, so the smell of these tri-tips cooking is making my mouth water. Right now I'm imagining myself eating it, and my mouth continues to water. It's gonna be so good. There are a lot of different ways you could serve this. You could serve it with mashed potatoes. You could serve it with jalapeno cheese grits is a personal favorite of mine. You could do anything that you want, some kind of starch to kind of complement it. Unfortunately for me, I'm not eating any carbs right now, so I'm gonna do steak and eggs. But it's still gonna be delicious. All right, we just pulled off the smaller one. This one has a few more degrees to climb so that this part gets done enough. It's at 122 now, looks like 121, 122, can't really decide. But we'll probably let it go another couple degrees and then pull it off. These smell incredible. Let's take them inside and let them rest. While those tri-tips rest, we are gonna cook our eggs. And Maiden, who's sponsoring today's video, so thank you to them, they sent me a new pan to try out. It's a stainless steel pan. Now my experience in the past with stainless steel pans has not been good, but everything I've had from Maiden so far, I've loved. We use their nonstick pan to cook eggs like every single morning, and I wanna see what happens if I try it with this stainless steel pan. The difference between this stainless steel pan and the ones that I've used in the past is that this has got a 5-ply design, which means it's gonna have better heat retention, more even heating, and it's gonna be easier to control. And this is actually the kind of pan that Maiden sells to the most professional kitchens. This 12-inch version is big enough that you can do multiple chicken thighs in here. You could probably even do a spatchcock chicken in something of this size. Also, this handle is gonna be far enough away from the heat source here in the center that it's gonna be cool to the touch. So, all of this looks really good, but I wanna test it out. Let's see how I do with some eggs. My impressions of the stainless pan are that it's really, really, really good. But that should come as no shock to me because I love their carbon steel pan. I've loved their nonstick pan. My wife uses that every morning to cook eggs for my daughter. And their carbon steel wok is amazing. A video with that coming soon. It's no surprise to me that Maiden stuff is used in 3 Michelin star restaurants, and it can be sold to regular consumers like you and me. So if top restaurant quality cookware is what you want in your kitchen, Maiden is offering my viewers a special 15% off of your first order if you click on the link in the description below. So you get my very favorite cookware for 15% off if you click on the link in the description below. All right, we let this guy rest. And so now it's time to slice it up. We're gonna have some parts that are gonna be, at the very end that are gonna be well done. Some parts that are gonna be medium well, medium rare probably in the very thickest part. I like about an average of medium. You can go less, you can go more if you want to. The issue is, for me, cooking it this way provides so much better flavor that I don't really want to mess with like a reverse sear or anything like that. I think this is going to give you the best possible results. So let's slice. How the grain runs on this tri-tip is going to determine how we slice it. So you can see now, and especially before we cooked it, that the grain kind of runs like this and then like this. So if we cut this the same way that we cut this over here, you're going to have long stringy pieces that aren't going to be as tender as they could be. So we're going to come through, we're going to slice like this until we get to about right here, and then we're going to turn it and then cut across the grain like this on the thicker portion. Now it's time to taste this thing. And so for me, this is exactly how I like tri-tips to be. So we have kind of a crust on the outside right here. And then if I look at it, that's the perfect level of doneness for the center of a tri-tip. For me, if you want less done, you totally can. If you want more done, you could do that too, though I wouldn't recommend it. For me, this is kind of the sweet spot. Going beyond it is worse than not getting all the way up to it. What I mean is overcooking is worse than undercooking this cut. But for me, this is exactly how I like to do it. Now you could have a perfect medium rare or medium, whatever you want, all the way through if you really focus on getting a great reverse sear. But for me, doing it this way is worth it, even if I have to sacrifice some of the thinner pieces to being, medium well or something, because the flavor I can achieve is so much better, at least in my opinion. You can do it however you like. This is my favorite way. So this slice is perfect. I'm gonna take a bite. There's so much flavor on the outside there. It's unbelievable. Here's one of those pieces that looks like it's about medium well. So let's try this out too. Still great. And the crispy end bits, everybody likes those. That's money. I'm gonna just stay here all night eating this. At this point, I'm gonna take probably half of this tri-tip and then eat it with my eggs. It's gonna be a delicious meal. I'm really looking forward to it. And we have to wrap up the video now because I'm fighting my wife off because she's trying to steal tri-tip from the cutting board before we end the video. So if you guys enjoyed the video, you can hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get more fun, informative barbecue content. You can also follow me on Patreon, where we do smoker giveaways and a bunch of fun stuff like that. And finally, I want to thank Made In for sponsoring today's video. If you click on the link in the description, you'll get 15% off of your first order. It's a great deal and an even better product. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.